All right. Well, welcome everybody. Today is October 11th, at least here in the United States. And if I have food on my lip, let me know. I'm munching on some food here. Um,
No.
how are you, Liana, Jeff? How you guys doing?
Awesome.
Great.
Good. All right. Let's start off with some wins, and then we'll talk about whatever we need to dive into with your business. So, who wants to kick it off?
I was just on the phone with Palmer College, which is one of the biggest chiropractic colleges in the country, and they want to put these rapid releases into all of their campuses. And we've been selling tons to the campuses that we've been putting these into, so that was a big win.
That's huge. That reminds me, I have a contact for you. A friend of mine was the past president of one of the big ones. So give me one sec here. Anyways, I'll look that up. That's a great strategic alliance for you.
All right, and just are you available on Monday to go to meet with Curtis's friend?
Yeah, I can make that work. I just was waiting for confirmation back from Curtis.
Okay, I'll lean on him.
Okay. All right. Cool. Do you know Fabricio?
Yes.
Okay. Have you talked to him yet?
No, not really. I mean, we've Scott introduced us, but nothing came of it.
Okay.
I mean, he used to be a big guy in the at Parker University.
That's right.
But we're already into Parker through a different channel. So
awesome. So Biana, just so you understand, and remember, Jeff has a device. You should grab one of those, Jeff, and show it on here so that you can see it.
And I am sporty person, so quite often I have some things that hurts me here and there.
I love it. I've got two of them, and use them to massage in the morning and after sports and stuff like that, and to break down any of those tight spots. But part of what Jeff is doing now is he's aligning with networks that he can drop his product into. And that's a great marketing and sales strategy. So, one of the things that we can think about with your business is who are the people who have access to the clients that you ultimately want. And I will show a strategy called top down, bottom up, side to side, and how you can own a niche.
All right, and Bijana, I'd love to talk with you offline about your SEO capabilities. That's something that we could use.
Okay. Sure.
All right. So, Biana, what's some wins? And by the way, Jeff, I learned that it's Biljana.
Okay.
Billy, it's easier.
Billy.
My English friends, they call me Billy. That's.
All right. We're going with
Otherwise, it's nightmare.
We Americans are really bad with language for whatever reason.
Don't worry, I speak many of them, so no problem.
All right. So what wins have you had?
I signed for the company finally.
meaning you got your incorporation papers done.
Yeah, yesterday I signed. Now I have to wait another week to go to the Chamber of Commerce and to have the bank account and everything. But you cannot imagine how complicated these things are in Italy. You are lucky because you are just going on internet. You do everything there. But here I am going from one office to another office it's incredible. But however, it's done.
All right, congratulations. Does that feel good to be in that process?
Yes, that feels really, really good.
Nice.
Really, really good.
Nice.
So
all right.
I can also now, I didn't update anything, for example, on my LinkedIn because I have a lot of people on LinkedIn, I think 1,000, something like that. So I didn't want to put anything until I do not have really the papers for that. Also from my previous companies, a lot of contacts. So now I can really start till now I was working on behind the scene, let's say. I did also the first video analysis of the website. So it was very useful for me also to understand. I was doing that, I think, 2 days because I was registering and doing that again and registering and doing that again. So at the end, I should master that now. So also the presentation, not just the content, but also the way how I speak. I was seeing, because in my previous jobs I was helping others now to deliver the speeches, but I didn't do that quite often. So when I saw myself, I said, no, I have to do that again. So it was interesting.
So you're getting your assessment process down, and so I'm going to use a doctor metaphor. A doctor, when you come in to get your health, they should assess what's going on with your health or your body.
Yes.
And then they prescribe.
Yes.
So you're getting your assessment and your delivery of your prescription down.
Yes.
Would it help you to do that kind of assessment and prescription with Jeff's company and Ani's company, my company, Scott's company, Donna's company?
That's what I wanted also to ask you, because however that is the part of my strategy is useful for me, but it can be useful also for you, because it's the part of my strategy and it's free. So video analysis of your website is completely free. So I can practice, and I can give you maybe some tips how to move forward if you want to move forward, or with whomever you want to move forward.
Well, let's do it. I think Jeff, could benefit from that. So why don't you guys grab your calendars right now, because I know the time difference is a little funky. Mm-hmm. And let's set a time, Jeff, if you're open to it, to have her review your mm-hmm. company. And I think if you record that, that process, mm-hmm. then, you'll have it documented. I wouldn't mind taking a look. I'll go through it with our company also. Mm-hmm. But why don't you record the ones you do with our team? And then if I get a chance, if you load it to YouTube, because I can watch stuff in fast speed, mm-hmm. I'll look at how you do your intake process and your sales mm-hmm. process. And okay. Jeff's really good at sales also, so we can all give you feedback on
okay,
what we liked and what we thought you can improve.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Does that send an email to introduce us? I'm trying to get on the chat, but when I click on the chat, okay, finally, yeah, now it opened. So I'm going to send Bianna.
Billy.
Billy.
My email. This will also have my URL in it. So.
All right. So I'll shoot you both an email. Jen, can you do me a favor? Would you please reach out to Scott Salinger? I don't know why he's not on, unless he said he wasn't going to be here.
Scott's not until the next call.
That's why he's not on here. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be why.
All right. Okay.
Jim, I have a question for you on the that guy that you showed me that had the 57 million views, Matthews. You mentioned that you were going to find out a little bit about the legality of using clips like that.
Yeah.
Did you find out anything?
No. I met with an attorney, but he didn't have any answers. And the only thing that he could do off the top of his head without, going into billing me for it was whether he's just using short clips and less than 5-second video clips is what he thought.
Okay.
So, and then all the soundtracks are personal development guys. And honestly, I just don't think most of them really give a crap. So they want their voices out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you thinking about for a strategy for yours, or are you just thinking about our biz?
Well, both, but I think that it would be kind of nice if we could get, like some fitness, a lot of, fitness and high performance type stuff. Because like we could show American Pharoah winning the Triple Crown, maybe, and we could show Justin Gatlin winning the 100-yard dash, and like some of our the Dodgers and the. I think when you're using Major League Baseball, they're pretty picky about stuff like that, and but we could just mention a lot or talk about some of the teams or football or stuff like that that are using rapid release.
Yeah,
I thought might be kind of good if we found a way to do it legally.
Yeah, I'll keep looking at it. I think it's so with our strategy, our overall strategy of this media branded asset, which is where the SEO comes in also. You know,
I'm interested also in that, so I will check it too.
Okay. Yeah.
This part of the videos, because videos are the part of SEO. Actually, the videos are the easiest thing to rank on the Google. I for example, I have also one video that I ranked in April. I was just testing something. For example, in Italy, on the first page of Google, like the best SEO agency for 2017, and I was doing that like 10 days, I think, something like that. It's on the first page that video. It's also now on the first page. It's not on the first position because I didn't work more on that. But however, it's first. So it means that that is maybe the easiest thing to rank on Google videos. And the videos, however, are very powerful.
So I want to go into something with both of you then. This might make sense here. And tell me from an SEO standpoint, because we're talking about videos, and how you get organic and paid traffic, right?
Yes.
So you like our new shirt? Check this out.
Power, light, nice.
I'm like, you know what?
Good energy only.
Build it for Ultimate Life Ultimate. I'm tired of branding other people's clothing. Right?
Good.
Why am I advertising for Rip Curl and these guys? Okay, so one of the things that I've been thinking about is this content matrix. And when I think about a content matrix from a traffic and SEO standpoint, you know, I'm going, all right, so you have these videos that you're going to create, right?
Yes.
And if you do your content matrix properly, every one of these videos can link from a content standpoint to each other and to bigger, you know, subjects with micro videos that are more long-tailed keywords, right?
Yes.
So if you are and I did some research on some tools because it makes sense. All right, before I just go, you know, creating a bunch of videos, or Jeff does, or you do, or Donna, or Ani, you want to actually do a search, right? So you want to look at the different search tools that tell you here's the top 100 long tail.
Long tails are easier to rank for.
Right. So you build
to rank for, and shorter. It depends on the keyword difficulty, because each keyword has keyword difficulty that it will depends on the keyword difficulty, the time, how long it will take to rank it. But however, for the because I have some tools behind how to do that is the part of what I was learning now for the months. With what I have in hands, it's really easy to rank them fast, but really fast. It is sometimes in a matter of hours.
Okay, so it makes sense strategically, and this is a subset of the overall business wheel. We're getting into the marketing conversation, so you know the core business, right? And then under the core business, we're talking about marketing, and under marketing, we're talking about your content strategy. So let's take Jeff, for example, then we'll take you and whatever. So if Jeff, we could work with Jeff to figure out what's the things that people could be searching for, that if he served up a series of videos that not only branded him, but that also led to, you know, topics, right? So Jeff, let's do this out loud, and maybe we could do some actual searching on here. But what do we think?
Pain therapy would be one. Vibration therapy. musculoskeletal or MSK therapy and percussive therapy.
That's all, for example, what I ask in discovery form, the people to fill in what do they think the keywords are for their business. Then I am going through that keywords, searching the volume of that keywords and searching also the key difficulty for this. And if it's okay, I can propose also the ranking for that. Otherwise, we can find the solutions to rank something if you need something faster, to rank faster. And for example, more difficult keywords to leave it for later. But at least to get you somewhere and to get immediately also the clients to get more visibility. But however, then I will send you the form, because I have the form also in English, where you can also fill all the keywords that you think that are important.
And then should we like prioritize those keywords? Does that make sense?
Yes, that is the strategy, to prioritize the keywords, because however, the states and the world, and it depends where you want to rank. If you want to rank in your city, if you want to rank in your area, if you want to rank in the country, so you prioritize what is important. And also those keywords should be also in your content on the website, not just as the keywords for the video.
One of the challenges that we have is our device works well on stuff like arthritis or fibromyalgia, MS, stuff like that, but we're not allowed to put that really on our website. So it's, we can't really name conditions without the FDA. And so that's one of our challenges that we've had.
Let's see the search volume for other ways to say that.
We've been spending a lot of time on that, but I would like to do that exercise if you can send that to me.
Yes.
That's an exercise for us to figure out what keywords we want and then to prioritize them. I think for us, we're mainly focused on inside the U.S., no specific regions inside the U.S., but the entire U.S.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And maybe.
And maybe what, Jeff?
Canada.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's go down that. Billy, so when you talk about the tools, search tools, do you have a couple of them that you like the most?
Yes, you can search also through the Google, through analytics. There are but the easiest way to search is to go on the Google, and on the bottom of the Google you have immediately, if you think something, you have immediately, if you go to the Google, search whatever, put whatever, and you are going on the bottom you have the options.
Yeah.
For the searching that other, then you have the tools where you can see. I have something that, again, I am the part of one software that if I am going on the Google, there is on the Chrome extension that I have extension. When I put something, I immediately have the search of something. I can show you also if you want. I have the extension, I have the search, and if I click, I can see also the keyword difficulty. So it's on the first page, on my first page.
Love it. So let me show you a couple of things, because we can work together on this in the mastermind. This is my bookmark manager that I use, and I want to show you how it's laid out, because if you need resources in different areas, we can all add to these resources and make a master list. So I break mine into the game of life, right, which is just content, and then game of business. And under game of business, you can see I've got everything from app research to accounting services to bartering, big data, data mining, business models to look at, blog research, bookkeeping, right, coaching programs, content based on categories. But then comes down, human resource, from crowdsourcing platforms to ghostwriters to graphic design, hiring content marketers, outsourcing firms, researching teams, VAs. But then marketing, this is a big one. So underneath marketing, right? We've got, advertising platforms and softwares, things around affiliates, analytics, banner ad designs, content marketing, right? Go all the way down, and then keyword tools. I've got 3 of them in here, but there's 2 other ones that for whatever reason I must have put in a different folder that I just found, and I will find them because one of them does this kind of look here. Let me do a new share. It actually suggests some pretty interesting things. So if you typed in life coaching business, it pulls up how to build a life coaching business, how to market a life coaching business, how to start a life coaching business. What is a life coaching business? So it does this thing. And as you go deeper and deeper into it, it does this visual thing that'll map out those keywords. And you go, all right, I'm going to do 10 videos on how to build a life coaching business. We're going to drive traffic to those. And then we're going to have a call to action of downloading a free report or an app or whatever. So my point in showing this was I wanted to show both of you, and maybe you have some stuff, we can share these resources back and forth, everything from landing pages to lead gens. And we'll build a master library here of the best, tools. Royalty-free music, royalty-free photos, royalty-free videos. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
I have actually one file where I put also some of them are free and some of them are free tools and some of them are paying. I am using one, and that is the part of the group that I was learning with them.
Okay, so let's share these resources that we all find. You're going to be the expert in SEO, and if Jeff has tools or I have tools,
ProRank Tracker.
What is it?
I have here ProRank Tracker, small SEO tool, SERP, Monsi, Incognito. What's my SERP? Microsite. Okay, Microsite Masters that I am using also to track my ranking. How you are going up. Keyword Finder. So there are many of them.
Yeah. So we just make a list of them, and then you can tell us which ones are used or not or whatever. I'll bookmark this one.
I am using ProRank Tracker. That is something that you can send the reports to the people, to the clients, or you can track by yourself. And Microsite Masters.
How do you spell that?
Spelling, I am not good in that.
Type the URL into the chat.
Okay.
And that way we can. And then we'll dive down into what each of you needs on today's call. But this is something that I wanted to talk to you about because I know we're going to get into the marketing of your businesses pretty quickly. And I want to start setting up some framework.
And there is one really, really good tool that here you can find everything. This one is the best.
Which ones? Oh.
The last one.
Okay.
Where did you type these? Because I'm not seeing it.
In chat group.
Group chat.
It's weird. Mine's not coming up.
Yeah, I had that problem earlier, but I hit it like 5 times and finally it came up.
All right. I'll keep hitting it. Okay. So hopefully it'll show up for me. Okay. So anyways, my outcome there was to set up this framework and to tee it up, Billy, so that you can use your process with us in the mastermind. We'll give you feedback the same way that when Jeff is rolling out his stuff, we'll give him feedback on what's work, what do we like, what can we improve, that kind of stuff. And then also how we start sharing resources so that, we get a library of the best things. If one of you says, I need to know where I get royalty-free music. Cool. let's have the top 5 places that all of us have access to. Okay. All right. So what's on the agenda? What do you each need support with today? Where do you want to dive down into?
I'm having a little bit of difficulty with my partner wanting to, kind of go through the tasks of come up with the mission and the values. I've got my values, and I've got, like suggestions with the company values. And I even made a great mission statement, but I don't know. It's kind of, it would be easy if it was just me, but there's a dynamic of having a partner that I know this probably isn't maybe the right place to talk about it, but that's a challenge I'm having.
This is the perfect place to talk about it.
Yeah, what I thought the same.
Yeah, so Jeff, let's talk a little bit about
And may I just add, I had that problem for a long time in the companies because I was the one thinking always differently. So I had huge experience in that, how to convince somebody that maybe has some traditional point of view. Quite often I was also in the traditional companies, and I am not traditional. I like to think forward. So it was completely mess. So
yeah, it's not uncommon, especially in partnerships. So, Jeff, does he have his values clear?
He doesn't have his own values clear.
Okay.
And, I've given him all that information and asked him to do it. And, he said he didn't think it was applicable to the business and stuff. And then we had a meeting with a business consultant. And then the business consultant said, yeah, it is applicable to the business. You need to do it. And he still hasn't done it. So it's just kind of frustrating to me.
Okay. Well, with him not participating in that side of it, do you know enough about what is important to him that you could somewhat guess his values?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
And unfortunately,
huh?
I mean, like, one of his values, I think that he wants everything to be, he wants to get an A+ with the FDA, okay, which is ridiculous because, that means that all we can say is minor aches and pains. And nobody does that. If you look at all our competitors, the only thing with the FDA is you have to pass. It's either pass or fail. You either get a warning letter from them or you don't. Us saying, like, we have David Wolf, who's a, fantastic healer. He's got 10 million followers. And he gave us this great video testimonial saying rapid release is like the best tool. It helped him with his back. He said, this is a must-have for any, it's the best healing tool on the market. Or, it's like a great healing tool. And my partner doesn't like the word healing because he thinks it's going to get us in trouble with the FDA. And it's like, you can talk to any FDA consultant. They're not going to, healing is the process of getting better. The definition is, there's also a definition where it's like you're instantly better. But, you have to take liberties like that when you're marketing a product. And so, like, he wants us to beep out the word healing. And that just takes out so much from this video. It's like you're watching this video, and then all of a sudden it's like, everything's quiet when he says that word healing. And it's just, that just pisses me off to no end.
All right. So that's not a value of his as much as it is a need or a rule. In other words, he's got a need for security or safety or something. Like he's got a fear. Okay. So
what I was going to say, the value is probably legal. He wants everything to be legal.
I doubt that that's the right word for it, but let's say that it's something. So for him, it's probably integrity or ethical or something like that. Legal is the way you get to those things. Mm-hmm. But if he had a value of integrity or ethics, right? Because he's a doctor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's probably, if you look at the 7 values, the assessment we do, he's probably a high political. Okay, so that means that he follows the rules. You are a low political. Okay, so you're the entrepreneur side. You have to honor his value. Not make somebody else's values wrong. So you've got to figure out a way to both of you get, happy about what's going to happen here. So take the David Wolf example, right? If he wants to bleep it out, your choice is to just bleep it out and it feels weird. Another option is that, you bleep it out and you make it a funny video that says, like you go, we can't say this because the FDA won't let us say that it's healing, or something, where you make a parody out of it, where you're getting the message across. But besides, it's David Wolf saying it. Now, if you use it on your own site, that's different than if David Wolf goes out and says, I love this product. He can say whatever the hell he wants, right? And you can point to that, but you can't put your logo on that video.
But according to the FDA.
What's
or
that?
maybe you can ask permission if you can edit the video, cutting that part and giving him again to give you permission to use that.
Well, I mean, my point is that the word healing is not going to get us in trouble. I mean, it's a perfectly perfect. I mean, a Band-Aid is a healing tool. Anything is a healing tool. Your fingers are healing tools. To call it a healing tool it's not going to raise an eyebrow at the FDA. And that's the thing that gets me. I mean, and that's just one example of 1,000 examples I could give you.
Yeah.
So so I'm like trying to market this product with both hands tied behind my back. But I think worse than that is that by nature of me being a marketer and trying to sell the product, I'm butting heads with them at every single turn. So every time I want to do something, it's like, bam, bam, bam. No, we can't do that. No, we can't do that. No. And the thing that, if it made sense, I would be completely on board with you're right. We shouldn't say that. But the stuff that he gets mad about is something that, it costs me. I usually have to get like an FDA consultant that's business friendly that I pay $250 an hour to, which I have a meeting with tomorrow to have him beat him over the head a little bit and soften him up so we can, say a little stuff. But then I have to do this like once a week, and it's just a bad use of resources.
Yeah. Well, and I think at some point you can probably show him, hey, I can continue to, to bring in these experts to convince you we've done it this time, but every time we do it, it's costing this. Are you okay if we take this out of your compensation?
Well, that's not a bad idea.
Why
but
not?
You know what?
He wants the protection. You don't want it. You're like, I'm okay with not having this. If you want to continue this, I'm telling you what marketing needs to do. It's $250 an hour. You can have this attorney come move in with you if you'd like, but it's going to come out of your half of the partner's compensation because that's important to you. But you've got to have a case to show, I brought him in this time, and this time, and we've kind of got some consistent results. The results are showing that we're being overcautious. So if you want to continue that path, I 100% support it. I'm just going to ask that those particular legal fees come out of your side.
Yeah, and I'm even willing to pay if we do get a letter from the FDA, which is the worst case. I'll pay for all the remediation of it because I know we're not going to get a letter from the FDA. So that's another thing I could do, the carrot and the stick.
Yeah, you guys are partnerships. You're doing this and you're bouncing and you're even seeing where you're misaligned. One of the things is if you draw two circles, up here, there's always an intersection where you agree. And then there's a bunch of areas you don't agree. And not just in business, but in life in general. So in my experience, if you only put energy into the areas that you agree, and then you make him own his disagreements and you own your disagreements, now all of a sudden it's like, oh, we agree on these things. We're different on these. So I'll own my piece and you own your piece. This is how they do negotiations, by the way, at the highest level when you have political leaders that are about to go to war. And if you can get them to focus on the parts that they are aligned with and own these other pieces independently, then you can start creating movement. But if you've got two people that don't see where they agree on anything, you don't get movement.
Well, we are starting to try and get some agreements. And I think one of the, another thing that we have is he's like a price hawk. He wants to raise the price on this thing. And I want to lower the price because I feel like, I want to get these out to the planet. I want everyone to have these. And I know that for every one that we sell, we end up selling another one because the word of mouth. And so I think that, having a price under $1,000 would make this much more available to a lot more people, and we'd end up selling twice as many units. But he wants to raise the price up to $1,500 because, he feels like it's worth twice as much as that.
All right. So here's the thing about that. And this is again a question of positioning your product. If you position your product, remember the Tesla and Hyundai example? Mm-hmm. I'm all for positioning your product at a high value, regardless of what the price is. So you got to separate value from price. Build a massive value for your product, and then establish a fair market price. If you're getting feedback from your people that they can't afford it, because keep in mind, I know you want to get it out to everybody, but you have to be careful of discounting the price point to the point where you lose your brand value. So, whether it's $1,000 or $1,500, are you really losing 30% of sales because of that $500 based on who you're selling to currently?
It's hard to say, but I would say we do get a lot of complaints on price. Some people say it's ridiculously overpriced. Some people say it's the best thing they ever bought. So it's hard to tell. I do need to change phones. Honey, can you hand me the other phone? My phone is going dead. So just a second.
Oh, you need the phone number, huh? You might have to log back out and come back in. I don't know the phone number. So Billy, while Jeff is getting the audio figured out and coming back in,
sorry about that.
Oh, there you go.
All right. So yeah, it's just hard to say. What did I lose the video, the Zoom? Looks
Yep.
like it went away.
We still see you.
Oh, I see. It's just got minimized, I think. So yeah, we are working on positioning right now. That's the thing that we're focusing on, and we are going to position it as the highest thing. And one thing that came up, and this is a little bit off, a little different, but it has a lot to do with marketing, and I think it's something I'd like to share with you and Billy. Have you heard of Scott Adams, the guy that wrote the Dilbert comic strip? He has a book out now, and a couple books, and he talks about what Trump does with the, he calls it literary assassinations. And so, if you try and remember what Hillary's campaign slogan was, I would say 90% of Americans can't remember that. But if you want to try and remember what Trump's nickname for Hillary was, I mean, everyone knows that. Everyone remembers what his nickname is for Ted Cruz. Everyone remembers what his nickname is for Little Marco and Low Energy Jeb. And they're just like little things that you put in front of your competition. So like, we were thinking like if somebody, because most of the other, all of our competition is low speed, high amplitude. And if anyone says, well, how does yours compare to that? We just go, oh, that's 50s technology, or something. Like we kind of say it like that. And if you want something state of the art, you come to us, or something like new therapy, it's completely different. So we're positioning it as being a completely different from that 50s technology. Or like, we were thinking like a jackhammer might be a good thing to call the other device. So, Scott Adams says he doesn't necessarily agree with all Trump stuff, but what he does with that, assigning your competitors these, literary assassinations is like a really good marketing technique if you if you want to go that way. So
yeah, you're putting up mental barriers, or you're framing your competition. I don't have a challenge with it. I mean, it's a little, it's not deceptive. I guess the question is how much energy do you put on offense and how much do you put on defense? So,
yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things that, and this is funny because this is coming from Stan, who's, the integrity value stuff, but, our competitors are putting all kinds of stuff saying that they're FDA approved and they're listing all the different conditions that they can help. And, they just haven't been hassled by the FDA yet. And we have, so we know we can't do that. And so it's kind of, we're fighting a battle against these cheap machines that don't work, that say they can do 10 times more stuff than we can do. So that's kind of the dilemma that we're in. I mean, if I was in Costco and I saw one of our competitors and they had this thing from top to bottom that said that they help fibromyalgia, MS, cerebral palsy, and it's a foot massager. And they're saying that they help carpal tunnel and, all this stuff. And if we mention one of those, we're going to get written up by the FDA because we're on their radar.
yeah.
I think. So, but our competitors, and the thing is that now that Trump's in, he's changed the FDA completely. That they don't go after companies and try and ruin them like they did with us. And now they're supposed to be more business friendly and, make suggestions and, they can back them up with a stick if they need to. But like for us, they came in there and just tore us down, like basically shut us down, like for just minor violations. And we had, for example, our distributor from China came in and we had one morning with them and the FDA showed up unannounced and basically stopped our meeting with our distributor in China and told us, nobody, don't give me any backup. Bring me a table and a chair and a water, and we're going to do my thing for the rest of the day, kind of thing. I mean, that kind of attitude and that kind of, and then Stan, my partner, wanted to surround himself with the most conservative attorneys, the most conservative FDA people that just made us spend it probably cost us $50,000 to get rid of this letter that we could have got rid of for $5,000.
So let me ask this, Jeff. So you've got internal conflict and resistance with Stan, right? Major disagreements on beliefs and values. And I think you've got to make a decision. Is the partnership that you have with him good enough to just call it what it is? He is a conservative, protective guy.
I think fear is the biggest thing that drives him. I mean, he's constantly in fear.
That's okay, but you resist that. And I'm going to ask you if you want to shift your relationship and embrace his fear, okay? Champion his fear, because I don't know that you're going to fix it the way you're approaching it.
Uh-huh.
So you're hitting it head on. Like, if I put my hand up and you put your hand up, this exercise, and I push against you, you're going to push back. If I push, you have to push. Okay? Or Aikido says, I'm going to align and bring you where I want to go. So Stan, I'm going to lean into your fear. I'm going to lean into your integrity, and we're going to make sure that your wildest fears are taken care of or fully lived out. I'm in. You've convinced me that we should definitely be fearful, 100%. So I'm going to help you do that. And you're going to help me figure out how we're going to double, triple, 10x this company using the most conservative policies in the world. But you have to help me do that. If I'm going to help you make your fears into reality, then you're going to help me turn our dreams of 10xing this company into reality. And I know it sounds insane, but I've been pushing you for years trying to get you to overcome this fear, and I don't have the energy for it. So let's follow your fearful path. Can we get to 10x our revenues following your fearful path? Now, I know it sounds weird, but you're in a relationship with somebody and you're in 100% resistance to each other. If that doesn't change, if you don't change your energy towards him, there's no way he's going to change his towards you.
Okay, yeah, it's stressful.
Well, stress is the introduction of friction. That's what stress is. It's friction and resistance instead of alignment and movement. So you may need to become the martial artist and change your approach to his fears. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You've got to try, if you keep getting the same result for the last 5-10 years, and you guys have a successful business, you're going to do, what's the revenue going to be this year?
3 million.
3 million. So
Because the FDA stuff that they did.
Whatever, you still have a $3 million asset with 2 partners. Okay? That's great. So is it 10 million? No, but it isn't 1 million. And so I would, if it were me, I would work on changing my energy and my approach to see if I can unmove him and steer him in the future to where I want him to go.
Okay. I like that because, I mean, to me, I'm making plenty of money as it is. I mean, so I'd rather live a less stressful life and make the same amount of money. And, you know, I don't want to fight like that. Life's too short to fight like that. But I really like your idea of drawing the Venn diagram with, you know, the values in there, and then see the ones that we agree on and really focus on those. And like let him own the other ones and I'll own the other ones.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, you've got to move. You're at a standstill. You've got to move your energy and watch what happens. I bet if you lean into him, he'll find a way to lean into you. And even if he doesn't, you won't be doing this anymore. So let's practice that over the next week or two. And you got a $3 million company. Following his lead's probably not going to drop that, right?
Right, but it's not going to grow it either.
But that's okay. You got a $3 million asset and call it what it is.
Well, you know, his fear is really good when it comes to product development because he thinks of all the ways that the product could go wrong. Something could happen and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's why our product keeps getting better all the time, is because he thinks through these things. And, you know, he worries like a crazy guy, you know, but it's really good when you're doing product development.
Yeah. And so you need to recognize that in him. And you go, you know what? Your ability to see the holes and to find the problems and to think through this is brilliant. And it's helped us in product development. Okay. Now, when you cross over into the marketing, you kind of bring the legal in. And I get it. So list for me all of the fears and concerns that you have. Okay. And let's find a way together to market this thing. And if we want to grow the business, let's find a way to grow the business, do it with a clean reputation, and see if we can take this from 3 to 4 million this year. You got to give in, dude. You've got to be smarter than the obstacle.
Yeah, but I just hate throwing away all this, you know, all this gold that we have. It's like he wants to bury it.
The gold you have is 3 million a year right now. The rest is potential. And I get it. I know what you're saying, but try this. If it doesn't work, you can go back to being resistant with him.
Right. Okay.
You already know what that's producing. It's producing flatline, attorneys, and you being stressed out, and him being stressed out, because I've heard your guys' conversations. Right? Mm-hmm. It's like grumpy old men. You know,
that's him right there.
All right, no accidents. Okay, so can you play that game for a couple of weeks and see what happens if you Aikido and lean in?
Yep.
Let's do it as an experiment. We can go back to the other way if it doesn't work.
I'm already less stressed.
All right, Billy, what did you hear out of all that? Because this is the kind of stuff that will come up.
They are in conflict, so they are like losing energy because they are putting a lot of energy once against another. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So you have like internal circle already. Then that is something established that both of you have way of behavior, way of thinking one of each other. So it's going on. Somebody has to stop it if you want to change it. Since if I understood well, he is conservative. Probably he will not do that. that part. If you have the broader perspective in this, you have to come on his side. And that's what I said also before that I had it. in my previous experiences, it's all the conflicts are the same. At the end, because you see things differently, you have different interests. But however, you have to go on the other side to really understand them, and also that person feels. Sometimes it's also the matter of the feeling. If that person feels appreciated, that you are interested, that you really want to understand, that you really want to solve that situation, you can go out of that. Because I tried also with pushing. I tried that with pushing, also with the management team, fighting with management teams. I had like nightmares after the management teams, because I was the only woman with all the men, and I was fighting with all of them. But then it's just the losing of the energy. I had to understand them, to find a way to present the things in their way, so that they can understand what I am thinking. Because what I am thinking does not mean that they understand in that way. So I to put yourselves in his shoes, in a way.
No. Okay, I love it. So she's hearing the same thing that I am hearing, Jeff. And let's just play the game for a couple of weeks.
Sure.
See what happens. Practice gratitude, because I've known you long enough now. I know where you were before this business. I know what this business has given you on the good side and the challenging side. And it's put you in position to have some pretty great things. So don't destroy the golden goose. Let's see if we can align with the goose and steer it in a new direction.
All
right.
The list of the good qualities that person has. I think about those instead of thinking of the bad one.
Yeah, and don't try to make him into something he's not. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, he's brilliant as far as coming up with new designs and stuff like that, and that can raise our revenue even if we keep our mouth shut.
Great. And even if you didn't, to have a $3 million asset that doesn't, require your full time is a good business. It's a good business. It's not a, world-class business. I know you have a bigger vision, but it's a good business. Okay. So, Billy, let's shift gears. Let's focus on you and what needs to happen in your business the next 2 weeks. Okay. So what's most important in your business? Because you're in the startup phase, you got your incorporation.
Yes. That I would say that my challenge is to prioritize the things, because in my head I have a lot of things that I have to do to put in place. So the things the thing that we were talking about last time, to divide the income activities and the impact activities, it helps. And also till now I was in impact activities in order to organize everything, and now I have to concentrate and to use my time more on the impact activities, and I would say much more on the impact activities than on the impact activities. So I'm thinking about also the strategies, how to do that. One of the things that I will do in the next 2 weeks is LinkedIn, to start using LinkedIn to find the niche. Probably I will choose one niche of the people whom to contact, and start sending through LinkedIn emails in order to generate leads.
So let's talk strategy for a second, because LinkedIn is a channel.
LinkedIn is the channel to generate leads.
Yeah. So let's talk strategy tactic. I think you had talked before about going after for benefit or game-changing companies.
Yes. That is the one thing that also I ask. I send you an email about asking that I had like the doubt that is something that I'm really passionate about. That is something that I really feel that is I am on the right track, because also all my experience, I was working in the corporate world. For example, you don't know how it looks like to work in the corporate world, because you didn't work there. So you don't know what kind of politics are inside, how people they live their lives inside. And in this period I can see both parts, the corporate world, and I can see and have the contact also now with you, with the people that they have the cost driven businesses, so that can be benefit for both sides, also for people. If I would tell now to some people that I know that they are from the corporate world that these kind of companies exist, they would say, "What are you talking about? That's like fairy tales." That's the way.
So I've got a list for you. A friend of mine started Game Changers 500, which is now called Game Changers.
I've seen that in one documentary. That one.
Prosperity was in there. Do you
Prosperity,
know?
Yes.
So Andrew Hewitt
Uh-huh.
is the founder of Game Changers. He's a really good friend of mine. He actually called me yesterday. So we're going to connect you with Andrew Hewitt because he's connected to all the game-changing companies.
Okay, great.
The other thing is Curtis Gilbert, who Jeff and I are having conversations with. And Jeff, you can explain this better than I can. Curtis is one of our mastery clients or grads, just like Jeff was in our year-long program. And Curtis is now partnering up with these guys who are raising capital for benefit corporations. The other piece is the U.S. Green Chamber of Commerce. Okay, and I'm chairman of the board there, and we're putting together the list of sustainable companies that are moving towards sustainability. So I think before we connect you with those three, and there's more of them I know in my Rolodex, maybe even Power now that I think about it, I want you to do some audits. And if you call them audits or assessments or whatever you're talking about, I want you to do, how many do you think you need to do before you'd feel comfortable doing on an actual client that you wanted to enroll?
Let's say 10.
10. Okay. Yeah. So it's
funny.
funny. Yeah. So let's write down these 10. This is what I think you can do over the next week to 2 weeks. I'd like you to do 10 assessments. So do Jeff's company, Rapid Release. I'd like you to do Ultimate Life and Power. Donna Collins has Jelly Queens if you want to do, and she's a for benefit corp also. Oh shit, another name just popped up. This is for a different thing, but it's I want you to meet Julian Brandt, B-R-A-N-D-T. He's the CEO of Organic SEO. That's O-R-G-A-N-I-K SEO. He's a friend of mine from the U.S. Green Chamber Board, and he runs an SEO company that focuses on for benefits. So you can look at their business model. You can meet him. He's a nice guy. I don't think he's going to feel threatened in any way, shape, or form. So Ultimate Life, Power, maybe even the Green Chamber if you want. These are all people that I know. You can obviously add other people.
Okay, I can add some people, but the thing is that I need the format from you filled in with the information. So I will send you the format, and also okay, here Jeff, Donna, you, that is not the big deal, but other people also I need contact in order to send them and to try.
Send it to me, and then we'll.
Okay.
So I want to look at your process is what I want to look at, because you're talking about the customer experience, the sales pipeline.
Yes.
And it's going to be, how do they get exposed to you? Then step one is we're doing an audit, and I want you to put a value on that audit of $1,000 or $2,500 or something like that. Okay. There has to be a value to that audit so that I take it seriously.
Okay.
So you've got to sell the audit. Even if you don't charge me for it, you're going to sell the audit. Okay.
Is audit automated, or is it something that you have to put a lot of time into?
I have to put the time because I have to analyze your website, to go through everything on your website. from the content, the videos, the links backlinks that you have, which anchors do you use, which are your friends, because Google is ranking you based on which friends, like in the life.
All right. So I just got an SEO audit from a company, and I'll forward that to you so you can see what they're feeding me.
Okay, I can, no problem.
That's a good idea, is to take a look at other companies,
Mm-hmm.
and look at their intake process, and what do they charge? What do they deliver?
Mm-hmm.
How do they sell their next packages? Because you've got competition.
Oh, for sure.
I think your competitive advantage is going to be niche, being able to niche on for-benefit corporations, and then getting into that network where you provide great value, tangible results, and then your marketing strategy of owning that space is how you're going to differentiate.
I'd like to make a comment. I think that if you limit yourself to B Corps, it's very tough to be a B Corp in the U.S. I think because it's kind of like you have to qualify to be a charitable corporation, which is a lot of paperwork, as well as the C Corp type stuff. I think if you kind of maybe were to change your targeting for like socially conscious companies, that way, you can target the B Corps, but you can also target other corporations that are for-profits, but have products that are going to change the world. So it seems like, to me, I think only maybe 1 out of 1,000 companies in the U.S. are B Corps, if that. But if you were to broaden it a little bit to call it like socially conscious companies, for example, or cause conscious, or come up with a name or a niche where you're working on companies that are making, like game changers. What a great name that is. So like you could say that you're focusing on game changers, that are for the benefit of the planet or something like that. That way you could, target companies like mine, Jim's company, Ultimate Life, or like LPP Fusion, which is, and Power. These are all companies that are game changers that can really change the planet for good. But if you're only limiting yourself to B companies, you're wiping out 99.99% of the companies from your strategy. So I would consider maybe changing the word B Corps to beneficial corporations, or not calling it out as specifically as a B Corp. Because I've been in business a long time. I just learned about B Corps, in this call. So
there's pluses and minuses to what Jeff is saying here. The plus is you expand your market size. The minus is, and I don't know if this is a minus actually, it's just a different way to look at it. There's a list of B Corps, and it is very specialized, and they are very cause driven. So you may target B Corps as a specific, marketing channel, and still focus on game changing companies like Jeff is saying.
What I would recommend is, and I have a friend that's a very successful businessman. He's got like 5 different websites. He has one that's focused on data cabling, one that's focused on video surveillance, one that's focused on this. So like if you come to any of those, and one is like focused on Orange County, one's focused on LA County. So whatever site you go to, he has them optimized. So, oh wow, these guys do exactly what I need, and they're right here local. So like, for example, if you made it into 2 different entities, one that's focused specifically on B Corp, you'll probably resonate better with the people if you're targeting just specifically B Corps, and they see on your website, we only work with B Corps, and they feel special. But then you could have like a parallel website that we work for benefit companies. Anyone that's doing great in the world, we're willing to work with you, nobody else. So you can kind of have 2 different entities maybe that you can get the best of both worlds maybe.
So Billy, how many clients total do you want? Let's talk next 12 and then 36 months.
12 to 6, it depends. It depends also on the price that I can charge, because like working by myself, I can improving. I can handle around 100 now 100 clients.
You can do 100 SEO clients with just you?
Yes, I can handle but okay, learning also having the systems in right systems in place. But it's possible even more. But so I took the lower
Okay.
lower number. It depends on the positioning, which kind, of course, of the clients. More you are lower with the price going on the lower you have to do more and more clients. That's
Yeah.
it. So, and that's also why I ask, how to approach this. Should I go with different companies? Also, what your thinking was about that, with different companies, also with the network that I have, or just to really concentrate on those companies that are in big companies, or doing the good for the world. So that's my dilemma.
I'm always a big fan of going to your networks first and going into your second and third tier networks, because you're using basically network marketing to reach them. And that's going to be one of your higher convertings, as long as you have good networks and you provide value to that network. The challenge that you've got, and I want to be careful too, because Jeff and I are both big thinkers, right? So we could easily go, you need to expand your market size, but you're in stage one.
Yeah, I have to start somewhere.
You need to bring on paying clients, and I'd like to bring on your first paying client your first 30 days in the business. So when you get those papers, boom. So the way that I look at it is, you can't help anybody and everybody with what you do. No ifs, ands, or buts. Okay. What I would do is, because we're going to build your values, your mission, your vision, then your product and service, then your marketing and sales. I think immediately short-term focus is this week, let's get your assessment audit process going. Let's get your confidence up on your first 10 that you mentioned. Okay. So decide who those are going to be. We obviously have companies, and we know people that have companies. So if you don't have your own 10, we'll help you get those 10. Do those, and then let's get you to start bringing on your first 10 clients. And
step by step.
Yeah, you can position, game-changing companies like B corporations, like XYZ. Build your case studies on that. You may have other clients that you do, to start up your business that aren't necessarily game-changing or B Corp, but they pay the bills. You're just not going to market that. Okay? So it's kind of like, I got an ugly redheaded stepchild over here, and I love them, but I'm not putting them on my homepage. I have a friend who did work for a major tobacco company, and he's like, dude, they're paying me 7 figures. I am taking that client, but I am not putting them on my website. So, and he doesn't have the same values that I do. I wouldn't have taken him as a client, but he's like, I don't give a shit. I'm taking them. That's $1 million a year client, and I'm just not putting it on my homepage. So I'm saying this because we need to get you in the game.
Yes. That is,
build your skills and your confidence. And then we need to step over and grab your first client to your 10th client as we build out, your brand and your marketing and everything. How does that feel?
Sounds good.
Okay. So let's do that. Jeff will do the audit. I will do the audits. Let's see if the other players, who else are you going to do your audits on?
I will see also with the people that I know, to whom I can do.
Do you want us to try to find some other game-changing or benefit corps?
Yes, if you want, yes.
Okay. Well, Jeff and I are meeting with some next week, and I will reach back out to Andrew Hewitt as soon as we hang up and ask him if he's got 1 or 2 companies that would benefit from this. So it makes sense to do some that are in the space that you're looking to go at too, so you can learn from them. Okay. Does that help?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Anything else? We've got to wrap up here. Anything else that either one of you need before we close?
No, I'm excited about trying a new strategy. The other one's not working, so.
Yeah. All right. And both of you Voxer me, okay? Send me messages throughout the week. I am, you're in the startup phase of your business, Billy, and Jeff, you're kind of going, but you can make a lot of progress. Feel free to Voxer me about your thoughts or ideas or business or whatever. You don't have to wait 2 weeks to get a hold of me.
In depth?
Do you know what Voxer is? It's
No.
No? Okay. I will send you an invitation. I think I can do it right now. And it's an audio. I mean, you can use our app too. I have to put your data in my phone.
Okay.
When you well, I can get your data off the list. Jen can put it in my phone. Yeah, because I don't have your contact info on my phone for whatever reason. Actually, why don't we do this? Jeff, are you good? Are you clear?
Yes.
Okay. So, and you and I will lock down for Monday.
Is there any special time Monday, or you can do any time Monday?
I mean, I prefer, well, I thought we talked about doing it at noon.
Yes.
Yeah, if we can do it at noon, that's great. That way I can do some of my calls in the car on the way up, and then we'll meet at noon. Does that work?
Yeah, and I think we're going to meet in Long Beach, so we don't have to go all the way to Beverly Hills.
Okay, so then just shoot me an email with, or text or whatever, with your address again and where we're going, so I can gauge the time. And
Okay.
I'll come to you.
I'll get the appointment set first, and then so let me work with Curtis on that.
Awesome. And Billy, that meeting we're having is with people who are building and funding game-changing companies. So we'll see what we can do to make this a win-win-win. Billy, if you want to hang on for a minute, I'll get your contact information right here on my phone, and then I'll send you the invitation to Voxer. Okay. And then Jeff, we'll rock and roll from here.
Okay. And send me an email, Billy.